So what's the difference between a Model A and a Model T? I saw a Model A Ford at a car show.
Well, there's a big difference in
What?
there. See, Model T, oh jeez, that wasn't no car. That had 3 clutch pedals and a little small engine in it. It canvas top most likely, huh? Like a convertible.
The A? The one I saw?
The Model T.
I saw an A. I always see A's. I'm always looking on the internet. I'm like, if I could find a Model T Ford or something like a car show, I'm like, I'm gonna take Pop to see it. But I always go on. It's always Model A Ford. It's like the guy down the street got a Model A Ford in his garage.
It don't. A car show down there. They don't have no Model T's down there.
They got A's.
A's.
So I didn't know what the difference was.
The Model T is. That's just probably obsolete because it really wasn't a car in the way of speaking. That engine didn't have an oil pump in it. It didn't have a water pump. And what else is that? It didn't have a distributor. Ford was smart enough to make a timer. See, he first made a 1-cylinder engine. But see, he wanted a 4-cylinder. But he wasn't smart enough to make a distributor. He put 4 coils in that engine and figured out a way to put a timer in. So each cylinder would fire on its own with its own coil.
At the same time.
Huh?
At the same time.
Now, whenever that cylinder come up, that engine would fire, you know.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
That timer would time the coil when the fire for that cylinder. He was a smart man.
So there was no oil in the engine? There was oil in the engine?
An engine? Yeah, there was oil in it, but it was gravity flow. He fixed the oil, so the oil would go through that engine gravity flow. The flywheel would pick it up. Behind the flywheel had a screen on it. That oil would go in there. It had like a 3/8 pipe through, running all the way through the block to the timing gear. And that, where the crankshaft was, that was a flat pan. The pan was flat like this. It didn't have a sink in it, the whole oil. That's so when that oil come through this pipe, go into the timing gears, it could run out across this pan, and when that turned, them cylinders on the cap had a little dip and had a little tray in there, and it'd come through and pick up the oil and splash it over the pistons. No water pump.
And the A didn't have that.
Huh?
The A didn't have that. The Model A.
The Model A, it had a distributor, oil pump, and everything. It's really made like an engine's supposed to be made.
So it's just newer. It's just newer than the T, that's all. The Model A is a newer version of it?
Of the Model T?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's what everybody was talking about. Ford made a complete change when he went from a Model T to a Model A. Completely different.
I always look.
Uh-huh.
I always go on and I'm like looking for Model Ts. I found one in Jersey. Somebody had one.
Model A?
T.
Yeah, but this car show down here sometime.
They got the A's, not the T's. I'm looking for a Model T, like the exact car you always talk about. I'm always looking. One guy had one, not too far from the racetrack where the flea market is.
Oh, really?
Because the guy used to race cars at that racetrack, but that's too far from
States in Oyster Bay, I think the man got a Model T. Called your mother saw, you know, when she was moving around, and she went shopping over there, like you're going out 106, and he pulled in, and she asked him what kind of car it was, and he said a Model T. And she asked him, could you look at it? I think she opened the door and sat in it. See, a Model T, it was made for like 4 people, but on the driver's side, there was no door. They had a print there like a door, but it wasn't a door. You had to get in from the passenger side and slide over.
It didn't have a door, so why couldn't you get in?
Huh?
If it didn't have a door, you could just get in.
Well, you'd have to step over that side piece in there. Well, that's the way that most of the men would get in. They'd step over. But you'd have to get in on the passenger side and slide across the seat to get under the steering wheel.
That seems strange.
Well, he had to be smart to make that. He had never seen a car. That was just his dream. He wanted to make a car, and he made it.
Travis, what are you doing?
There was no fuel. There was no
service.
There was no fuel pump either.
The battery's dying.
No fuel pump for gasoline. That was gravity flow. The water was gravity flow. The oil was gravity.
How much the Model T cost?
Huh?
How much did a Model T cost?
I don't know. I think it's $400-500 brand new. It was just like a buggy.
I can't even get
springs
rotors
and
put on the
all
car
that.
for $500.
Had high wheels on it, little tires.
How'd it break?
The brakes worked through the transmission.
Oh, so it was torquey.
But you know, in a way, he was smart. His first car, Model T, that little transmission had the sun gears, and had 3 bands in it. But see, it had 3 clutch pedals. To make the bands work, you had to push the pedal. But see, now they got smart enough to make that work automatic with a fluid coupling, you know, with a pump. But see, the Model T, if you want to go in reverse, the middle pedal, you mash that, and that would close that band, and that would make it go backwards. And it had a lever over there for neutral and the high speed. It only had 2 speeds, first and high.
Nope.
See, you get it going, mash the pedal, and get it going, and then you ease your foot off and you push the high gear a little bit down. It was in high speed.
Now, what was high
It
speed?
would take it a while to pick up.
How fast did it go?
Well, it could not run a horse. Because I know there's a man around that had a horse, and this guy stayed with us sometime on Saturday, Sunday evening, be around town there. And he'd be racing with our car with his horse. That Model T could not run that horse.
No.
Excuse
And
me,
you
Travis,
know,
I'm just
he
putting my
made
phone
the
away.
Model Ts,
No problem, man.
and people used to go cross country with him. It wouldn't heat up.
That's just
See,
crazy.
he made the radiator. It had large tubes in it.
Did it have heat? No,
Huh?
right? It had heat. The Model T had heat in it. You could turn the heat on,
Heat for what?
like the cold weather.
No.
It just be cold.
Most of them had curtains. In the wintertime, you put the curtains on the side like you did with a buggy. And that's all. You'd have to have on an overcoat riding in it. And the windshield wiper, if it started raining, you'd have to work that with your hand. Had a little blade in there running through, and you take that little handle. Because I know sometimes we get caught in the rain. Well, if my mother or one of us was sitting in the front with this guy driving, we would work the windshield wiper for him while he was driving.
That's crazy. People used to really live like that.
Yeah, I think about it now, I would like to see somebody with a Model T in good shape that's running. I would just like to start it up, let it run, and raise the hood up. I got 1 or 2 of them cars here out of a 27 Model T Ford. Come on, see if I can find it. I'll show it to you. It work. You hook a battery up to it, it'll work right away.
The what?
The cars out of a Model T Ford.
Model T Ford. That's crazy.
Yeah, people, they'd go across country with them, you know. 'Cause back in the day, all the old cars going across the desert and all that, I think they had service stations and places where you could stop and get containers of water. In case your car heat up in the desert, you'd have water to put in it.
They didn't have antifreeze at that time, right?
No. My father-in-law with the Model T, even the Enfield, you use the car in the winter, you put water in there. To start it easy in the winter, you'd heat water in a kettle or a pot and pour in there, and that would heat the engine up to make it easy to start.
Now, when you stopped driving, did you have to drain the water or it just froze?
What if you stop?
Or if you're parking it for the night?
You park up for the night, you'd have to drain the water. You put it in there. If you're going to use the car during the day, okay, put the water in there. But when you get home at night, first thing you do is open that little valve on the bottom of the radiator and let all the water out. Otherwise, it would freeze.
If it freezes, it busts the engine or no? Would it
Huh?
bust the engine if you forgot?
And that little four-cylinder engine, I think you could pick it up under your arm like a watermelon and walk with it. Very small.
Oh, what?
Didn't have much horsepower to it. But like I say, now Ford, he had never seen an engine or one somebody was making. That was a dream in his mind, and he made it. You know, anything new like that, equipment or machinery or whatnot, is something people, you get it in your mind. You can see it, but nobody else can see it.
Yeah.
Nobody else can see your dream. Then they take maybe draw it on paper or they make it. That's the way I made 2 air pumps work in the plant. When they was changing over from the pump electric motors and working air.
Mm-hmm.
For about 3 or 4 years, I was telling the foreman, I said, I can put 2 of these pumps together and make it work. Yeah, you're crazy. Leave that alone. So finally got a good boss and he said, try it. See, that was my dream in my head. I could see these 2 pumps. I could see these 2 pumps tie them together, the pipes and everything, and make them work out the same line. It took me about 3-4 days. Within a week, I had all the pump parts, but I had to put them together the way I want them, tie them together, and the air and the vacuum and everything. The electric had to be hooked to it. And the first ones I hooked up worked just like a dream, just like a sewing machine. They work, you're like you're milking a cow or something. See, now with the air pressure and vacuum, they was thinking the air pressure both would be working at the same time. But I went into the stock room and I found an old timer, electric timer, and I got it, took it to my shop, changed the shaft in there where it had 2 frying pins.
Mm-hmm.
And I hooked up 2 lights, and them lights could make them work like that. And that's what I worked the pumps with. Then after I got them working, they looked at this timer, and the guy from the lab or one of the engineers, he bought some timers so we could tie them together.
Yeah.
But see, now that was my dream to make these things work. I could see all this working, but nobody else could see it. You got to get it in your mind. I imagine that's the way a computer was made.
Yeah.
Somebody had a dream at night, started thinking, look at somebody work a cash register, and they got the dream. Now, why can't I make this work? Think like a person's brain. It's done from the mind.
They got computers smarter than humans now.
Huh?
They got a computer smarter than humans now.
Smarter than people?
It's called Watson. IBM makes it.
Why you say that?
It's smarter than the smartest human. It is. They talk about this commercials. Watson. That's the name of the program. They beat the dude who's a champion in chess. They beat him, like the smartest chess player. They beat him.
Well, I seen the card they made. It was on TV the other night. The man walked out to it, started talking to it. The door opened.
Watson knows everything.
He got in there and told the car what he wanted to do. It started up and into gear. We said, okay, let's go. It took off down the road.
Yeah, the thing Watson, you can ask it any math question and answer it. Any,
Huh?
you can ask it any math equation and answer it. You can ask it any word and know the definition, which is dangerous.
But the computer and all might destroy us. Well, even from a little boy, my grandparents and my mother and all talking. I don't know if they've seen it in the Bible or whatnot. They probably did. Uh, that man would destroy himself. You know, he's practically got it right now. These bombs and missiles, rockets and things they got.
Man,
See, what could happen, they keep changing it, and one want more power than the other and all this, and make it and all this. Could be just one little mistake and destroy everybody. Boom, that's it.
we are close.
Huh?
We are close to destroying ourselves.
Because, you know, you go crazy, you start thinking about it, there's another all-out war with what people got. Russia and North Korea and the United States, practically all other countries now. See, the atom bomb, that's nothing. That's like a salt and pepper shaker. It's the nuclear stuff now they're dealing with.
Yeah.
I think it was a Jewish man who was the first one got the atom bomb to work during the war. Was it Rosenberg or Rosenthal or somebody? After he got it working, had used it in Japan, he sold all that information to Russia, I think it was, but they caught him too late. He had got all the information out. And you know, they killed him and his wife both right after that. I think they executed both of them. But he done sold it to Russia.
Mm-hmm.
See, in the United States, they thought they had something that they could just keep and nobody else would get it. But see, this man, he made it, and he's going to sell it for a lot of money or something.
Yeah.
They got all the information out of the country, but they caught him too late. But they killed him. They found out he did it.
Nah, we give out too much information.
And I think the first atom bomb was tested on one of the deserts, wasn't it, going out west?
Yeah, out there in the Midwest, like Arizona over there, Texas.
But that seemed like a shame to drop that bomb and destroy them whole cities like that.
Like Hiroshima,
But
they killed everything.
when you think about it, look how Japan done us, or the Japs. One Sunday morning, a holiday or something, before day in the morning, they attacked Pearl Harbor and tell nobody it's coming in and started bombing. You know, in that raid, they killed over 3,000 people right there.
It took
And I
out.
guess that's why when they got the bomb, it was no trouble just to drop it. They didn't warn us, so they didn't warn them. They just dropped the bomb.
They killed so many people. They had us.
Huh?
They killed the people. They took out our planes. They had us. If Japan really wanted to, after Pearl Harbor, they could have destroyed us.
Well, when you think about it, I've thought of it several times. When they hit Pearl Harbor, they had the United States knocked to their knees and didn't know it. Because this country ain't had that much to fight with at that time, and they put it all on that 1 hour. Airplanes and bombs and everything was there. They figured, well, it was a problem. Japan and places, they would never bomb it.
They destroyed us.
When they hit Pearl Harbor, they had another fleet behind that. They could come right to Midway and come right through to the United States. But they hit and run. They were scared. One of the Japanese, one of the top men, when they was getting ready to return to go back home, they told him, you just awaken a sleeping giant. That means the United States was big and was powerful, but they had knocked the United States out. Because I got a job on the Navy base they was building, and they was coming out there showing them little rifles you carry on your shoulder. They'd come out and stop everybody from working. There were speakers hanging on poles in the trees and had these little guns. They was going to teach everybody in America, men and women, how to use these guns and hand grenades. Because they didn't know what Japan was going to do. They thought Japan was going to hit us again. They had it so if you was out cutting, if you was farming and cutting pulpwood or whatever you were doing, you'd have a gun on you. And they were showing the knives like you're going to have to carry.
Yeah.
Everybody was going to have to carry a gun. And they was going to send people to have classes and teach people how to use them. They even out there on that base said, put up all this bank of dirt, where they's going to take people to practice shooting. But it didn't ever come down to that.
I still never shot a real gun.
Huh?
I still never shot a real, like a handgun. I want to shoot a handgun.
Have you ever shot a handgun?
Nah, not a handgun.
Huh?
Not a handgun. I want to, though. I gotta get me one.
Yeah.
Huh?
What do you do?
I was looking for a plastic
They're
cup.
on that table over there.
Hey, yeah. Could you give me some ice,
You want some ice?
please? My hands ain't clean.
You know, I have all of that. But if you go to the range with me, they won't let you go back there and shoot.
I'm not
How many pieces?
Huh?
a couple. If I can shoot a shotgun.
3, 4?
That work. I just want a little bit of soda. I can shoot a rifle. I can't shoot a handgun. I'm gonna get my license though. I'm gonna get my license soon.
It's going to be hard for you to get a license here in New York.
It take me about 6 months.
Huh?
Take me about 6 months.
Well, if you get it, you can't carry it. You'd have to keep it in the house. But I think everybody should have a weapon in the house. You know, I think if the United States was like North, South Carolina, and Georgia, where you could go and take your lesson to get your gun right away, I don't think they'd have so many robberies and different things. Now, people here, they know the average old person and whatnot, they know you don't have no gun. See, now, would you want, if you was in that, doing that, robbing people, if you know somebody had a gun in that house, would you go in there on them?
Sure
But
would
you
not.
see, that's big business. It's the underworld. They make more money this way. Look what they can get for a gun when they sell a gun, an automatic weapon. It's just like with drugs.
Yeah.
They'll never stop drugs because the rich man is number one in that. Poor people can't bring that stuff into the country. You ain't got no airplane, you ain't got no submarine, you ain't got no ship. You don't have the money to go to places and millions of dollars to buy it, to get it. The rich people is bringing it in.
Oh yeah.
And they chasing the little guy around on the street corner selling cigarettes, bubble gum and stuff. I'd never stop it that way. See, the mafia, you probably want to say, is running this country.
Oh yeah.
Because I know at the service station, see, I worked there with more clients for years. And there was always somebody weekend, like you say, a nice car, Mercedes or Cadillac or something come in. Guys be dressed nice. They want to come in and be talking with more. Like build a nice station for him or
Mm-hmm.
or whether you want to do a bigger business, they be trying to sell gasoline under the cover cheaper so you can make more money.
Yeah.
He'd always tell me, he called me Junior. He said, Junior, stay away from them people. 'Cause once you start to working with them and whatnot, you can't pull out when you want to.
Yeah.
Once you in, you in. You can't stop. He said, don't get tangled up with them people. He said, go, you can't stop. Can't retire, do what you want to do. You
Mm-mm.
got to do what they say do.
Only one way out. In the ground.
You got 6 feet in the ground.
I'm gonna get a shotgun soon.
Yeah, they was always after him about doing some business to sell gasoline and oil or tires.
Yeah.
They wanted him to buy stuff from them. You could get it cheaper, but once you in with them, then you came back out.
Yeah.
All you got to do is take one order with them. See, that's why in business, let's see, I don't think more over the counter, I don't think he'd take money out of nobody's hand. He'd have to lay it down. Because they say with them, you're dealing with them, like, you know, come in and do something and hand you money. If you take the money out of your hand, they got you. Supposed to let them lay it down, and then you pick it up. You hadn't thought of that, had you? That's how easy you can fall into a rut. Just by changing money or shaking hands. See, this country is tied up with that.
Bad.
That's our government.
Trillions.
It starts in Washington.
Trillions of dollars.
Huh?
Trillions of dollars that we can't account for.
See, they got
Trillions that we can't.
They got all kinds of money, and they got machines that make money too. They can print the money if they want to. That's why they keep changing the money. It's paper money. They start printing it.
They got so much money just missing. Trillions of dollars. Unaccounted for. Floating.
Now, I imagine all these big service stations now is probably run by them.
I'm sure.
Like we got the shed over where you drive in and you get your gas and all this. I believe it's run by them, the world.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of the other big business.
Everybody answered to somebody.
Huh?
Everybody answered to somebody, and everybody give money to somebody else. That's how it is. Yeah, how rich you are, your money goes someplace.
Well, not changing the subject, I don't know what I'm going to do. I done lost about 25 pounds.
25?
I think so. The scale shows I only weigh about a little bit of 150 pounds now. My average weight was about 180, 85. I get hungry and want to eat. So if I start eating, I'll start throwing up. Even somebody, I get choked trying to swallow water.
Yeah.
You know, I have cancer. And it's inside, like my throat and my stomach is real sore. Just like if you punch me in the stomach, it hurts.
Yeah.
And the programs they had with that on TV, I think they were showing where there's over 200 different kinds. It'd be better on the other side, wouldn't it?
Well, I didn't think you could turn.
Huh?
I didn't think you could turn that way. You're right-handed, so what's wrong with this way?
Okay, I always take it from this way. That's all right, I'll try it this way.
I usually give it to you straight in the center.
Yeah. And I take it with what hand? My left hand?
Whatever you want.
Wait a minute.
Oh Lord, you tired. You need to take your little self and going home now.
I'm always tired.
You gotta work tomorrow.
I'll leave me a few. Saturday.